I've been to India. It's the dirtiest place I've ever been. Are you kidding? Like, I mean, most Indians keep their homes immaculately and beautifully. And the vast majority of people have folks come in and clean each day for them. So to sit there and say it's a dirty place is a false narrative. And when you label it like that and you make that general sort of statement, you diminish a truth. And that's unfortunate. And then you propagate that truth and you allow that truth to become fact. And unfortunately, that might actually dissuade people from wanting to come here and see what it's like. And I would never, ever, ever do that. I think that's a terrible thing to do to any country or culture.
Yeah, welcome and welcome again to Willy Doggy Stories. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And to my new supporters, I thank you. For those who already supported me, thank you again. I won't take it for granted. Without wasting much time, we're going to talk about Indian American confess that they need Black Americans' protection from their own self. Alright, so this might be one of the most unexpected and honestly kind of uncomfortable things I've come across lately. Some Indian Americans are now openly saying they need Black Americans' protection. And no, not from racism or white people, but from their own community. Yeah, you heard me right, their own community. They're admitting that years of internalized anti-blackness, colorism, and pressure to assimilate into whiteness has left them disconnected, judgmental, and sometimes even harmful. And now, they're looking to Black Americans not just as allies, but as the very people who might help them heal from themselves. Now, let's break it down in this video, then we'll meet after this video so that we can talk about it. Keep intact.
To the foundational blacks, if you want to be technically correct, you are foundational Americans. Black comes from the United States, and the United States themselves with the 14th Amendment said all of those that we enslaved were born here before the United States was formed. So the 14th Amendment is telling you that you are foundationally American. They put that black terminology on you when they made their census in 1790. That is not when your story starts. Your story starts in 1682, before the United States was even formed to call you black. And those who they were enslaving in 1682, per the Virginia law, are North Africans and North American Indians. So that has to be the same people freed because Dred Scott was born into slavery. The 14th Amendment overturned the law that you could be born into slavery from 1682. You are foundationally American. The United States made you low-classly black.
All right, so I gotta say it. We Black Americans, we are not the American Indians. We are not the Native Americans. DNA evidence and linguistic evidence ties us to West Africans. It's a fact. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of evidence showing that African Americans did mix in and oftentimes were adopted by Native American tribes during slavery, but that doesn't make us the Native Americans. If you take a DNA test, it's going to show for the majority of African Americans that the large majority of our DNA is from West Africa. The rest, about 25%, is usually from Europe, and then a small fraction is Native American blood. We just got to face the facts. We're from Africa. Accept it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. The slave trade happened, and yes, we are from West Africa. Now, that doesn't mean that African people didn't travel to the Americas before Columbus, but to say that we are Native Americans is just not factual, and you're gonna need a little more evidence than the Olmec heads. You're gonna need more than some pyramids or some mounds. Now, if you want to keep arguing that we are the Native Americans, you're gonna need some real hard facts, because I haven't heard one shred of evidence that proves that the majority of African Americans are the American Indians. But regardless, I love y'all. I understand. We searching for identity. We want to have a claim to this American continent. And we do have a claim to this American continent. We shed our blood slaving to make this place what it is. But we are not the American Indians. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. And I know folks are going to come at me in the comments. And you can be as mean and as vitriolic as you want. That doesn't prove your point. Do better. We are not the American Indians. Love and embrace your African heritage and be proud of it. We are African Americans. We are Black Americans. We built this country. We laid the foundation for this country. We have done a lot to influence the world, yes, but we are not the Native Americans.
Was there a point of time in your life when you thought that I need to bleach my skin or whiten my skin?
Yeah, I thought many times.
No, Indians were not supposed to be fairer. India receives more than 250 sunny days. So vitamin D is directly absorbed by skin, hence more melanin content, hence the darker skin.
There was time when I was a teenage girl, I could see people girls who were fairer than me, they were treated in a different way. You could see the school teachers or everyone as like, oh, she's so cute, she's so pretty. So that time we feel, okay, I want to be that person. I've been bullied for my skin tone, and that too by my teachers. One of my teacher bullied me when I was in class 3rd or 4th. I was just a child. I don't know that I have a dark tone and all.
My friends who are a little darker than me, they sometimes feel that, still that I should put tomato on my skin and this on my skin to become fair. So their self-confidence has been really affected.
Sit down and talk about the amount of racism that most Indian people have towards black people.
I wasn't going to stitch this video because I've made many videos talking about racism in our community. But I've seen a lot of stitches on this video and Indian people saying, well, it's not all Indian people. Yeah, we know that, black people know that, but it's a lot of us. So they are valid to say Indian people are racist. And can you honestly tell me, how would your family react if they know you're dating a black person? I also saw someone say, well, black people are racist to us too. Two wrongs don't make a right, but I'm also having a hard time believing that you know that many black people. And you're probably just making this assumption from two black people that were nice to you. So well, they're racist to us too. We as Indian people need to acknowledge how we are wrong and apologize and change. We literally have come through apartheid together and somehow we're still divided. It doesn't make sense.
Bro, I'm reaching out to the African community. Why don't y'all like us? Because when I be at work and I be trying to talk to the African people, it always seems like they be looking at me funny or side-eyeing me. And at first I was thinking maybe they just don't understand me that well. Maybe they're not well acquainted with the way we speak or something. I don't know. But somebody brought it to my attention that they just don't like African American people. And I didn't believe it at first. But then I started noticing certain little things. One of my coworkers was like, if you notice, they always cool with the white people. They love white people. I'm like, no, I don't think it's that. There's no way they like white people more than they like us. That don't even make sense. I'll never forget. I was walking down this long pathway at my job. It's like a long pathway. And I see somebody just running this way super, super fast. And it was an African. And I'm sitting there watching this, and she's a beautiful African lady, super beautiful. But she running this way. I'm looking like, what's she running from? It's a white dude behind her chasing her, and they both just laughing and giggling. I'm like, ain't that the same girl I was just trying to talk to yesterday, and she act like she couldn't understand nothing I was saying? How she having so much fun talking to this white man, but she can't be cool with me? That's insane. Why don't y'all like us? What is it that y'all don't like about us? I thought we was cool. And then as time went on, more and more down the line, I'm starting to peep this is a reoccurring pattern. It keep on happening. I'm starting to peep that ain't no Africans trying to talk to me. They all act funny towards me, but they do be messing with the white people. And I'm like, bro, that's a real thing. I used to hear people say it, but I didn't really believe it. I'm not the type of person that just hears something and just believe it automatically. I got to see for myself. And once I really seen it, this same African lady I was just trying to talk to yesterday, not being flirtatious, not being weird or nothing, regular conversation, just trying to, help make the day go by, not even saying nothing bad or nothing. This same lady who wouldn't even give me a conversation was being chased down by a white man, laughing and giggling. I couldn't believe it. Why don't y'all like us? I understand we're a little bit Americanized and everything like that, and we're a little bit brainwashed, and we can be ignorant at times, but every African American is not like that. I don't like to see myself as an ignorant person who runs around starting I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't do that at all. So I don't understand. It's very frustrating. I don't even want to talk about it no more. But hey, have y'all ever experienced
Indians in Africa, and especially in Kenya? We all know your ancestors were brought into these lands to come and build the railway line by the British. After the British left, you guys stayed to be part of us, which was only fair because you guys deserve to be here. But please, help me beg the older generation of Indians in Kenya to stop being racist towards the Kenyan people, towards the black. Pay black people the same wages you pay your own kind for the same services offered. A lot of Kenyans are suffering in EPZ, industrial area, and all the industries that are Indian owned because they're being treated very brutally. There's a lot of racism. Please.
Do you know the one thing I don't like about Australia? It's the racism towards Indians. Indians get so much disrespect in this country. If you go on any comment section on social media, you'll get comments like Indians are hairy, they stink, they don't use deodorant, they're taking all our jobs, blah 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 blah. But in fact, they're the most hardworking people in this country. We should all be learning from them. Yeah, the Indian disrespect is getting way too much now.
That's why we are knocking every day. I'm married African man.
That's why?
We eat fufu all the time and we're becoming stronger and stronger. I'm married African man. That's why we are always late for all occasions, because we are using African time. I'm married African man. Can you remind me what do we do?
Knocking. Nah, every day.
I'm married African man. That's why we are knocking every day.
You get it? Okay. Welcome back again to Willy Doki Stories, and I hope you've watched that video. Okay, here's the real deal. There's this growing conversation, especially online and in some activist spaces, where Indian Americans are openly about something many of them were raised not to talk about, anti-blackness within their own families and culture. People are literally saying, I grew up in a household where we were taught to fear black people, to keep our distance, to look down on them. And now, I realize that mindset didn't come from the truth. It came from trying to be accepted by whiteness. For generations, many immigrants' families, including Indian Americans, were told, whether directly or subtly, that success meant assimilation. That meant adopting white norms, staying safe and uncomfortable. That often meant absorbing anti-black attitude passed down through media, education, and yes, even family dinner tables. But now, some are waking up and realizing we didn't get here on our own. A lot of Indians, American, are starting to connect to the dots. They're learning that without the civil rights movement led by black Americans, their families might never have had the chance to come to the US. In the first place, the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act, which allowed many Indian families to immigrate, only became law because the 1964 Civil Rights Act, they laid groundwork. That's just politics. That's a life-changing domino effect. And that's whether this confession starts to make sense. Yeah, that's where this confession starts to make sense. Some Indian Americans are now saying, we climbed the ladder of opportunity thanks to a foundation that black Americans built. But instead of standing in solidarity, we judged them. We stayed silent. We sometimes sided with the oppressor. And we will benefit from their struggles. And the real plot twist, they're admitting that all this internalized racism and colorism didn't just hurt black folks. It hurt them too. It created shame around their own identities. It turned communities inwards, competitive and disconnected. And now they're realizing maybe they need the black American not just as partners in justice, but as guides in unlearning to conditioning that's been passed down through generations. Let's be very clear here, folks. This isn't just about asking black people to save anyone, but black Americans have carried enough already. But there's something powerful and rare about people publicly saying, we need help, we got this wrong, and maybe, just maybe, you can help us see what we couldn't see in our own. This moment could be the start of something real, not just surface level allyship, not just hashtags, but actual accountability, and actual community. But the question is, will this confession lead to action, or are they just performative guilt without change? Can Indian and Black communities actually build solidarity that's deep, honest, and mutual? Or is there still too much unspoken hurt in the way? Let's talk about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments, whether you are Indian, Black, or just watching this unfold. Is this a step in the right direction, or just a good soundbite? Folks, until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep asking questions that make people uncomfortable. Because that's where the truth lies. Without forgetting, folks, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my videos. Stay connected. Thank you.